and welcome to episode 193 of the Heart of Markness Led Zeppelin podcast. You may notice a little rise in my energy level. Yes, that is true. Why is it doing that? Oh, I see why it's doing that. Never mind, I fixed it. Nothing to see here. Everything's great. Everything's going swimmingly. So, I am still kicking this cold. I mean, I feel fine. There's still just, gunk in there. But I also noticed that Bill Burr on his podcast has had the same thing. Just the cough that will not go away. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. Getting better. Fucking sick of it. But boy, oh boy, I would like it to be gone. But I'm glad I didn't get like super duper bedridden sick. That it's just been a goddamn cold that won't ever end. So, we have part 2, this episode 193 of the Heart of Markness Led Zeppelin podcast. Part 2 of the North Bridge Stereo remaster of Osaka 1971. And that is, I think, both shows, if I remember correctly. I did know this, but I've just been looking at a million different things. No, September 28th. I apologize. September 28th, 1971. Good. Okay. I've got things mixed up in my head because it's been an embarrassment of riches around here as far as stuff that's come out. There's a nice 1971 Japan tour compilation that's a mix of the 29th and the 28th. That was just... that just came out. Or at least I just discovered it. And it's just, can't keep... Although these shows are fucking amazing, I just can't keep circling around Japan 71 as great as they are. But I am happy because these sound so gosh darn heckin' good with the Northbridge Stereo Remaster. And the Stereo Remaster is, as I explained last week, similar to the Giles Martin technique of what he did with the Beatles Revolver and the Beatles Sgt. Pepper remixes. And even the White Album, I think. Some of the White Album was still recorded on 4-track, I believe. And what that is using AI tools, audio tools, to separate the instruments digitally, not just with using, EQ, but actually carving out each individual instrument from the mono recording, isolating it, and then assigning it a location in the stereo soundstage. So kind of like, instead of just everything in mono, it's the same signal in both ears. So it sounds like, if you're wearing headphones, it sounds like it's just right in the middle of your head, right in front of you. No separation. And the stereo, of course, what's done is you isolate each instrument. So you've got the drums. So you've got the bass drum, dead center, boom, 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 boom. And then the cymbals would be a little to the left and the right of that. You'd have the hi-hat a little to Bonzo's left, your right. And the ride cymbal and stuff a little to Bonzo's right, your left. And Jonesy on the left hand of the stage, Robert in the middle, and Jimmy over on the right. More. And technology has increased to the point where it's not point and click. You still need skills and you still need a discerning ear. But it is something, as you hear, that can be done, at home with somebody with skill. And this is, Steve Z, I believe, on the Led Zeppelin forums. Put this out, and it is absolutely scrumptious. And he's not only able to give a nice stereo soundstage that doesn't sound cheesy and doesn't sound like a two-dimensional diorama kind of faked out Viewmaster kind of stereo, but actually captures and Bonzo's drum tone. When it's isolated like that, it rings true. Jimmy's tone and the subtleties come out. It's a brilliant job, in my opinion. And I've heard from folks who also agree it's a brilliant job. And I know there are purists who are like, nah, this doesn't count. And I agree. And it should be noted as such in this is why provenance is important, to keep the notes and the sources clear so that the source pool isn't muddied by somebody grabbing this and thinking it's like, holy shit, this must be from the Stereo Masters, the Pro Mix that they did of this. Nope. Mono. So, well, blah, blah, blah. I am going to play you. Oh, that little thing at the beginning of the show was just a little vignette the band did between songs. It didn't go anywhere. It was just a little country doodle doot. Where was it? Right after the end of the acoustic set and before What Is and What Should Never Be. And I love it because it makes me happy because they're having so much fun and they're so spontaneous on this tour that I wanted to share it with you. But it's not like a standalone song like, okay, now here, listen to this, 22-second blip. So I opened the show with it. What You Gonna Do? Goody goody. I have some news. Between Christmas and New Year, I am going to be interviewing the gentleman from Led Zeppelin News on his 10th anniversary Led Zeppelin News. I'm going to interview good old James, and I am looking very forward to it. I'm honored that he reached out. I cannot wait. James Cook, brilliant dude. And I cannot wait to, hear his story. I'm going to listen again and take notes to Zepp Fan's interview on his podcast that he did, because I don't want it to be a carbon copy. So I'm going to try and mix it up. And he is currently James has been trying to contact people in the band, Jimmy, Robert, John Paul, over the 10-year thing and try and just get punch through the shields and get to them and say, hey, is there anything, you want to tell your fans? We've been doing this for 10 years. I've been providing this for 10 years. There's all this cool shit out here. Because, Jimmy doesn't have the internet. These guys are old. And they're probably not digitally narcissistic in the sense that, we are of the younger generation. Me at 54 years old, being young in this case. With the constant refresh. Did I get any likes? Did anybody reply? So, who knows? Looking forward to it. Brilliant man. Does a brilliant job keeping the Zepp flame alive. And wow, is he an important resource for everybody. He's just a one-stop shop for what's going on. Blessings be upon you, James. Looking forward to talking to you. All right. 8.5 minutes of your time has been wasted. I am happy with that. It makes me smile. It makes me want to celebrate. Celebration Day. Worst segue ever. Celebration Day, 9/28/71. Good shit. Jimmy playing the doubleneck on this. Enjoy.
It seems that pretty soon everybody's gonna know
That was cool. It sounded so good. And I prefer the 73 tour version. The song remains the same, kind of celebration day. I don't know why. Maybe more swagger with the Les Paul than with the double neck. But that's pretty goddamn good. As is this band, and I'm never going to complain about Robert's 1971 voice. Yeah, but what about... come on now. He's a good boy, and we all love him. What else are we going to listen to, Mark? Well, wow, we're blowing through this quickly. Well, the next song I have for you is Good Old Since I've Been Loving You. Nice, beautiful instrumental staircase. Staircase? No. Showcase. I was thinking of stairway. Instrumental showcase for the band. Dig the stereo soundstage, dig the bonzo's tone, and enjoy the best band in the world at one of their many peaks. Again, this is September 28th, 1971, Osaka, Japan, and off we go.
I'm about to lose. it felt like rain.
Man, that was fucking amazing. Bless you, Steve, for your work with the Northbridge remasters. Love it. There's more of these out there, too. I believe he's working on March 21st, 1975 next. Boy, oh boy. I'll keep bringing them to you because these are really neat. I like Lyriodendron remasters. I like Northbridge remasters. I like Dario Romero remasters. Good stuff all around. Alrighty. You can find me. Where can you find me? Well, you've already found me. Anywhere where there's podcasts, you will find Heart of Markness. All the places podcast. I'm also on YouTube as Heart of Markness. Twitter as Heart of Markness. Make friends with me. We can be friends. Facebook as Heart of Markness. There's a Facebook group with a couple hundred of the best people you could ever wish to meet. Hanging out and congregating peacefully with hearts full of love. Join us, won't you? And I have a website, heartofmarkness.com, wherein you can find the shows that I cover. You can get this entire Northbridge remaster recording at heartofmarkness.com for free. Just like I got it. These are labors of love by the community. I don't do the work, which is great. I just propagate it, which is easy peasy, man. You get the entire show. The show begins with the last little bit of Heartbreaker, a couple minutes of Heartbreaker, into Since I've Been Loving You, Black Dog, Dazed and Confused, Stairway, Please Please Me, From Me to You, the Beatles songs. These are just little snippets like the beginning of this show, not full songs. From Me to You, which I already said. Celebration Day, Brahmyar Stomp, That's the Way, Going to California, We Shall Overcome, Tangerine, Down by the Riverside. That one goes on for a bit and it's beautiful. Gonna lay down my buried in, down by the riverside. Good stuff. And the Grand Ole Opry, which is what you heard coming in. What Is and What Should Never Be, last week's show. And Moby Dick, 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 which is very long. It's a long Moby Dick then. Yes, a long dick. If you like what I do and you like how I do it, while you're at hardermarkness.com, grabbing all those free shows, take a look at the Patreon banner at the top and maybe click it and see if there's something that appeals to you. If you want to support the show that way, that's great. You can non-materially support the show by, oh, that's my food on its way. Non-materially support the show by leaving reviews on whatever podcast platform you're on, or sharing the podcast on social media. Share it on Twitter, retweet it, share it on Facebook, put it on places, put it on Instagram. All that shit, share it. Tell your friends. Those are ways to support the show non-materially. If you like it, if you don't like it, why are you still listening? And one of the perks of being a patron, aside from getting your own podcast every month, November's podcast, for example, was The Evolution of No Quarter. Boom, bum, ba da da ba. From the bossa nova during the Led Zeppelin sessions, Led Zeppelin 4 sessions, that is, to the epic monster that we all know and love, Godzilla. Patrons, yes. And you get your name read unless you tell me not to. A couple people have told me not, asked me not to. Nobody's been a dick. But here are the current titans upon whose shoulders rests this humble yet mighty podcast. So a laurel and hearty handshake go out to Brian, Matt, Stephen, George, Big Ed, Kenny, John from West Footscray, Picard or Picard, Canegern, Chris, Rob from Melbourne, Australia, Wayne, Brad, Danielle, Tracy, who's having a Christmas party tomorrow that I cannot attend because I've got my daughter with me, David, who I adore and who has done so much to help me with this podcast, Bonzo, Billy, and Mimo. Thank you, my friends, for all of this. And, yeah, it's going to be a short one this week. That's all right. You got 3 songs, technically, and it's a free podcast. I will try and get something done over the weekend. No guarantees because I've got my kid with me, but I will try. It might be later Sunday, so you might have it for your Monday drive time. I will try, and I'm going to pop some stuff over for the patrons as well. So thank you very much. I love you all, even you. Please be good to yourselves and each other, and I will be back definitely, unless I die, next Thursday for another Led Zeppelin podcast. And I'll try and, like I said, sneak in a classic rock one over the weekend sometime. All right. Enjoy yourselves. Be good. And thank you.